Namaste. Good afternoon. We're going to continue with questions. And the last two videos, I haven't had a chance to come back and listen to them. I probably should before I continue. Because I found myself making notes, and rather than sometimes I would tend to ramble a little bit. And this specifically, this is the third one aimed at just questions. This still more questions, and this should be the end of it. Okay, and that thought, let's continue with what I've been doing. And one of the things that I shared with a lot when I was struggling with my Renzai Zen, my Zazen, my 33 years of studying Zen. When I was struggling with that, one of the things was always I thought it was a goal of cessation of thought. And I found a lot of things to back up what I've discovered that I finally just gave up because there's no way I could ever silence the monkey mind. And I thought two things at the end. First of all, when I gave up, was just a relief. Giving up might be if you get stuck, if you're at an impasse, I suggest that just surrender. Just say, okay, I give up. It doesn't mean you stop doing or trying. It's that you start taking a look at it, but it's neither by doing or by trying that you're going to accomplish anything. So you surrender to the fact that there's nothing to do other than remembering what you've always been, the self. So this is something that I put together. Take a little bit here, take a little bit here, edit it, put my words, add some things. But let's talk about cessation of thought. Becoming yourself, which was the goal. What am I? Remember, was my specific question rather than who am I? Because who am I is kind of misinterpreted in modern society. So what am I? What is the am? I know I read that thou art. Yeah, that's it. So becoming yourself has absolutely nothing to do with permanent cessation of thought. There's absolutely no connection between enlightenment or awakening and the realm of thoughts, or arriving at a point where all your thoughts have ceased. We all have at least a few hours of total unconsciousness and deep, dreamless sleep every night where all our thoughts are totally absent. And we wake up the next morning enlightened in the light. Yeah, afresh. You can have plenty of thoughts running on and still be resting totally in your natural enlightened state. Old school spiritual studies might still seem to promote, now here's a seem is in italics. Might still seem to promote silencing the mind. It's a misunderstanding that can be ignored. You never try to silence your mind. In every mind there is noise. The endless chatter of thoughts, judgments, desires, worries, sensations, and yes, imagination. And then there is silence. Now I had to start taking a look at silence because I needed to start understanding silence in a different way. And that's what I started looking at, is ignoring the monkey mind. That's the word. It's like being at a movie, to ignore the monkey mind. And just know it's there, but it becomes background noise. So anyway, then there is silence. Already there, already underneath of all internal, or eternal for me, internal dialogue and psychological assessment. That silence is there even under our dreams and imagination. Indeed, all that could not exist if you did not have the foundation of silence to rise from and rest upon. I read that indeed all that you could not exist, all that you could not exist if you, all of that could not exist if you did not have the foundation of silence to rise from the, so there'd be noise, no noise without silence is what they're saying. Yes, yin and yang, no light without dark, no noise without silence. The you, ego mind, you think you are, could not exist within the silence, which is the who you already are. One is not better or superior to the other. Together they make up the whole of life itself. Neither needs to be destroyed. So you never need to silence your mind. Indeed, that is an oxymoron. That is mind's function, to analyze, assess, imagine, dream this world into existence, and you conceptualize how to stay alive in it, not to be silent. That's silence's job. In lieu of trying to silence the mind of your own effort, simply notice that there is noisy mind and all its thoughts, judgments, plans, desires, and worries. And notice there is also infinite isness and boundless peace of silence. Then decide which you want to spend most of your time, with which you most want to spend most of your time. If you spend most or all of it in the mind, you will chase your tail all your life. You will actually go farther from your imagination and your spiritual heart, and you'll never know your true self. But don't try to shut it up. Just plan your days to spend equal time in silence, just being, just pure awareness. From this fountain, everything you want and need and everything you are will spring. Even self-realization and illumination. I love this. Here's an Eckhart Tolle, and again, Eckhart Tolle, Eckhart Tolle. This person that I took the previous words from. The mind is a superb interest if used rightly. Used wrongly, however, it becomes very destructive. To put it more accurately, it's not so much that you use your mind wrongly. You usually don't use it at all. It uses you. That's good. It uses you. This is the disease. You believe that you are your mind. This is the delusion. The instrument is taken over. All things that truly matter, beauty, love, creativity, joy, inner peace, arise from beyond the mind. Thank you, Eckhart Tolle. Not always in perfect sync with you, but that's a good one. And that's why I used it there, because it's good for me to get over my biases. And, he was not somebody that resonated with me, but it sure does there. It's as if he shared my words that I'm sharing with you. And here's another question, okay? Does one become enlightened or realize that one already is? Because we always talk about become awake or become enlightened, and people are striving and journeying and putting effort into this. So let's find out. What some people refer to as enlightenment means the realization of absolute truth. I prefer awakened, but from the moment of the conscious being is born into this world, awareness is present where they are. At some point along their journey, they develop a perception of themselves as being individual and separate. This is not the truth. The awareness that is present in their midst is the truth of who they are, what they are. However, now it's peering through the lenses of separation. When a person comes to realize the truth, they understand that this perception of being an individual and a separate being is illusory. It is not real. Maya. They realize that the one awareness that is present in them is who they really are, and who and what. They also realize that awareness that is present in them is the same awareness that is present in every and all conscious beings. There is only one awareness. So don't think you're anything special because you realize this. Just realize that we're all in this together. For many, this realization is fundamental, extraordinary, and life-altering. Life-altering. So although the one awareness has always been present in the midst of a person, the realization that this is the truth of who they are came at a later point in life. Yes, for some this realization is called enlightenment. The truth is always present where each and every conscious being is. Only some choose to realize. This is how enlightenment happens. There are those who are enlightened. Those who are enlightened are enlightened. Those who are awake are awake. They don't become enlightened. Rather, they grow up and open and develop in order to fully express what they are, in order to expand who they are, to embody the enlightenment that they're. Just a flower blooms and opens. So here's another follow-up question. If life is an illusion, Maya, why does the illusion feel so real? In my practice, non-dual practice, life is not the illusion. Our beliefs of separation are the illusion. All is one. We are never separated from Source. The duality is the earth-side challenge. Heaven is the conscious awareness of your connection to the divine. Hell is when we are living without conscious awareness of our connection to Source. They're not places, but instead states of consciousness. They are happening now. The inner journey is a way to connect to your own divinity. Meditate, be active in nature, family and community, seek wise counsel, and the scales will fall from your eyes. The illusion will fall away. So they use scale will fall, and I like to have veils, right? And veils are lifted instead of falling.